So this is the last in the 3 times we've talked with you about social impact. We discovered what social impact is, the net effect that organizations or individuals have on a community for good or for evil. We've talked about your sphere of influence. That means how you personally or you with the organization you're with can affect a community, and how that creates a platform by influence to deliver a message. That's what Christ did when it said in Acts 1:1, Christ came both to do and to teach. It meant that his deeds or his service, his love, his actions, his behavior created the platform of success in his life to deliver his message of redemption in the kingdom. So that pattern is with us. And also when Christ left the earth, he left a heritage, he left an inheritance, and he left a legacy. And he said, greater work shall you do, more of the same. In other words, he said, I want you to finish the work which I've started. And so I want to talk about your individual involvement in social impact, why it's important. Every person leaves a heritage, an inheritance, and a legacy. A heritage is not just the asset that you leave, but it is the intangible things, the ideals, the knowledge, the moral standards, how you react and how you respond to things in life. That's whether you have a nickel or you have $1 million. An inheritance is the stuff, the asset, the resource, the finance, or the real estate. It's the asset that you leave. When someone gives a last will and testament, the will involves the asset. The testament involves how that asset will be distributed and how it will be managed and used. So that like Christ left us the New Testament saying, I've given you all these gifts and powers and resources. I want you to use them to affect the world for good. And I want you to use them to bring the message of the gospel of the kingdom to liberate people. So the testator assigns people someone who is an administrator or an executor who will actually manage or distribute the resource in a way that matches the intent of the testator, the one that passed away. So a heritage is the ideology, the knowledge. That's what you mold and bring in your children and your family. The inheritance are the tangible things. And the legacy, and this is what's important, the legacy is a piece of one's history left behind for following generations to experience. You ask yourself in your social impact and what you do in the kingdom, what do I want my legacy to be? My heritage is how I will perform that. And I'll leave. My inheritance is the wealth that I will leave. Like God said, I've given you wealth to establish my covenant. And then the heritage is what people will look back on in your life and be influenced by when you're gone. And so with that response, what is your individual participation in social impact, in kingdom impact that has the morality of God? How do you become an influencer that has authority in the economic impact, the political impact, the educational impact, the philosophical impact? I think a good quote here is what Fairbanks said about business. He said, businesses around the world have created more wealth for more people than all the aid, charity, and government actions combined. That simply means that whether it's you as an individual, in your business, the strategy and the plan that you have for the purpose of your wealth should not only be that takes care of you and your family, but your wealth strategically placed can make an impact on the world that will change it and will also give the message that you're bringing forth to people validity. You must be involved in where you're at, and you can be invested where you cannot be. At home, you're involved and invested 100%. The further you get away from your home, you can't be there all the time, but you can be invested. So your investment increases as your involvement decreases, but you should be involved and invested everywhere you're at. That's the reason that I'm so appreciative of Tricord and Wealth Builders and the platform of partnerships that we have. We have projects that are social impact projects, like Farm Uganda, that you so generously gave to, drilling wells, Project Cure, which gives medical supplies and creates an avenue to where 98% of all waterborne disease can be cured if there's just potable water. That means children don't get sick, they get an education, they have a chance to become future leaders. So it's whether you're giving out of your donations and partnership for social impact, or as our investment is coming up in September, where investors can invest their money and get a rate of return in their income, but yet their investment goes to social, responsible kingdom work that creates social impact and change, kingdom change in the lives of thousands of people around the world, and still gives you a rate of return. So whether it's a donation, partnership, or investment, those are platforms for you individually to make a social impact, create a heritage, leave an inheritance, and have a legacy that others can follow.